We are wrapped up with our ski season, and again, I wanted to say thank you so much to the folks at Sierra Tahoe. I believe is everybody locally closed now?
There's a couple open on the weekend still.
Just on Saturday. And you said someone up north got 18 inches of snow?
Oregon Timberline got about 18 inches last night.
They got all the weather this year, and we know because we were trying to get through it the one time, but and we never did make it to. I never made it up to Seattle and the Mount Baker, and it's just like every day you looked, it's like this has got to be wrong. We were getting like a foot an hour up. I mean, it was crazy. But if you look at, this is out of the Wall Street Journal, the title is Less White Equals More Green, and they looked at some of the major well-known snow areas in this country: New York, Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, Boston, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Minneapolis, Salt Lake City, and even Truckee, California, which Truckee gets many times is the coldest place in the nation. Mm-hmm. So take Truckee, for example, received about half its normal snowfall for typical, not even compared to last year. Last year we had, I don't know, was it
way over average? Right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was 200% last year, but it was a lot. But we didn't get even half of a normal year this year in the Truckee area, which I can contend to. So they save money. It cost me money trying to run around chase powder, but that's a different story. So you say, okay, that hurts because you're not getting hotel taxes, you're not getting taxes from sale of ski equipment, you name it. If people aren't there, you ain't getting money.
Right.
So the upside, and some of these numbers are staggering. The upside for just the city of Truckee alone was they saved $700,000 in snow removal, sand, and the de-icing equipment. That's how much they saved.
Wow.
So the city of Truckee saved $700,000 this year by not having to
remove
as much snow as they normally have. And the state of California, who annually uses about 50,000 tons of sand and 16,000 tons of de-icing material statewide, this year saved about $20 million of its $55 million budget across the state for snow removal. So if there's a light at the end of the tunnel, it isn't for the people that were operating the ski resorts, right, but for the taxpayers. And you look at Salt Lake City got 24 inches on a normal 55 inch. Oh no, let's see here, seasonal average. Yeah, so these are, I guess they're talking about inches. Salt Lake City was less than half. Minneapolis was less than half. Sioux Falls was a third. So there just was no snow,
stateside.
Yeah, and coming other than I think Alyeska, Alaska. No, excuse me, Anchorage, Alaska had a record snowfall, more snow than they've ever had in the city itself. And then you look at
Europe had a good season,
even Seattle. So it just kind of hung up in there on the north, never kind of tucked down. So we'll see how that track goes out. But at least the state of California, we can take our $20 million and
put it toward the deficit, maybe.
Yeah.
I just thought
that would be just pennies.
Pennies. We were talking about pennies this morning, weren't we?
Yep. Hey, if you want to jump in today, you can text us at 441140, or you can give us a call 339-1140. I do have a lot of real estate related stuff and a bunch of other obscure stuff. I did see. I'll just go through the obscure stuff now because it all seems to pack together. I don't know what it is about Google, and I don't know whether it's a corporate mentality over there. I don't know what it is, but they always seem to be a story about them about doing something that's just on the fringe of what we would call acceptable, and it just I can't put my finger on it. They're not doing anything illegal. It's just they always seem to be kind of right up on the fringe of doing something or pushing the boundaries or something. Maybe that's what happens with a company that's pushing the boundaries.
Sure.
But this one caught my eye the other day, and I don't know. I've seen one of these cars one time, and I'll show you a picture of that car. That's what it looks like there.
Oh, that's...
You've probably seen, and look at the camera on top. So this is what they call the street view. What they call street views on the Google. So if you go on Google Maps, you can click on it and you come right down to the street view, and you can actually pull yourself along the street. You can turn around and look around, which is an awesome deal.
Sure.
So you start looking at, I use it whenever you're looking at a piece of real estate and you see something, particularly in an area you don't know. So let's say you find something in San Diego County, or that's a good price, and it says Ocean View, and you can click right down on the address. You can get on the street and you can look around and you can see ocean views over the nuclear power plant and through the dump. You can see the ocean. So it gives you an awesome way of just getting a view of it. So these vehicles travel around with this big tripod camera on top of it, and it's getting front, back side, all these photos, which is, I'm sure you've all seen them. I've seen them a couple times, different agencies running around. One of the guys that worked for Google is alleged to have said he wanted to, while he's out running around in his car, he wanted to scoop up personal information off the wireless networks of homes and businesses as he was driving around. Now, I don't know whether this was authorized or not, but apparently he did it. And findings in the report bolster Google's contention that the plan to gather the personal data, which included the contents of emails and the web addresses of sites users visited, was conceived by a single engineer. And so he did mention, so this guy, when he was driving around, or someone was driving around getting the photos, if your Wi-Fi wasn't encrypted, he was downloading, had the potential at least of downloading your emails, downloading the sites you were going to, and picking up other information as well. What they were going to do with it, I don't know, but it's caused Google a little trouble.
I would assume
so. Looks like so they concluded Google didn't violate a U.S. law against wiretapping, but said it obstructed the probe and must pay $25,000. Well, Google paying $25,000 is you and I paying like
pennies.
A third of a penny.
A third of a penny.
Like we found a penny, it wasn't even ours, and we gave it to you, and you gave us half back. So maybe that's not even as much as Google paying $25,000. So, but it's interesting. And I see these as I'm digging through things once in a while. You just, and Google's name comes up, and it comes up, and it comes up on different things, and maybe that's the nature of who they hire. I mean, they hire these creative, young and creative, energetic people, and sometimes young, creative, energetic people do stupid stuff.
Brains work a little different.
Yeah, do stupid stuff. So I'm not sure who's mining the ship over there, but Google is collecting your data, which just goes to tell. I mean, first off, there is nothing to prevent John and I from pulling out in front of your house with a Wi-Fi receiver, and if you're not encrypted,
right.
Well, I can tell you everywhere you've been, everything you said. I mean, so shame on you if you're letting that go on out in front of your house. So let's do this. Let's take a break. Look, we got one of our quiz questions there.
Yes.
Okay.
So
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can text us at 441140. And here's your options today. I've got one beverage certificate for the Mix It Up, a free one-day beverage machine rental. The free frozen beverage machine rental shall consist of 1 day of either a one flavor or two flavor machine, depending on availability. Free machine rental will include one batch of in-stock cocktail or slushy mix, 50 cups and straws. Man, you got a lot of friends. And delivery if you're in the normal area, or $18 if you're not. Alcohol not included, so we're not throwing in the good tequila. You can have the worm, but you can't have the tequila. So that's one of your options. I got some Hangtown Motocross Classic coming up May 19th.
Looking forward to that.
And we will be live at Hangtown again, as we have been for at least the last 5 or 6 years. You'll know when we're out there because you won't be able to hear a word that comes out of our mouth. It sounds like we walked into a buzzsaw. So I've got motocross tickets. I've got Hellwig. I've got some IMAX passes. So Jim Boys, as always. So whatever you prefer. And we'll give that to the first caller who gets the correct answer at 339-1140 or 1-800-920-1140. You can text us. Although, Chris, is our text machine working in there? Because this thing looks like it's maybe frozen up. Okay. It was working for Gall. Okay. So we'll go ahead, John, let her rip.
So who in 2012 first quarter, which lending institution or bank holds and held the most origination volume out of the big banks, and they crush everybody else?
Yeah, it was almost like a third so a third of all, no, this is mortgages now.
Yep.
A third of all mortgages in the first quarter of 2012 ended up in the pockets of this bank. Doesn't necessarily mean that people went to the bank directly, because they buy mortgages from us and everybody else too, but a third, and what was second place, like 9% or 8%? Or
9.6.
Yeah, so this bank, number one in the nation, has a third of all mortgages in the first quarter of 2012. Who are they? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can text us at 441140. We're going to take a quick break. That's John Fodorero. I'm Jeff Tarbell. This is Talkin Money. No such thing as a stupid call, just a stupid reply. And we'll be right back.